Welcome back to The Thermostat with Jason Barger. If you're currently on a commute, a walk, or just a micro break in your day, glad you're making time to step back, to think, and to reflect on the next steps on your journey. I've never been more convinced the best leaders and team cultures in the world are the ones that make time to step back, breathe in good oxygen, and calibrate their thermostat. I hope today's conversation leaves you feeling grounded and inspired. Now let's dive into today's topic to engage our minds and hearts in order to authentically lead and create compelling cultures wherever we are in the world. Hey everyone, it's Jason and welcome back to the Thermostat podcast, wherever you are and however you're coming to the podcast today. Again, thank you. Welcome. Glad you are here. If you are one of the OGs, the original folks that have been a part of the podcast from the very beginning, thanks for tuning back in. Glad that this continues to be a place for you to be filled with some good positive thoughts, for you to step back and think about your life, think about your team, your organization, think about the mindset that you're bringing, how you lead, the culture that you create for the people around you. And if you're new to the podcast, then welcome. Glad you're here. Glad this continues to grow and spread. And my commitment to everybody is I want to create a space for you each week for you to step back, have some time to think, and to, be filled with some positive thoughts that give you some energy, give you some juice. Thanks to everybody who takes time. I hate that I always have to ask about this kind of thing, but whether you like it or not, this is the way that the world works, that anybody who helps rate the podcast, 5 stars, of course, leave a nice review, tell your friends about it, share it on social media, your networks. Anybody that you think ought to be a part of this conversation. That's the way that the message spreads, and that's how people find it and helps it continue to grow. So thanks to everybody that takes the time to do that. I am super excited to welcome in my friend and now becoming a regular guest, which is awesome. But in just a minute, I'm bringing Shane Battier into this conversation. Many people who know Shane Battier know that name as one of the best basketball players to ever play at Duke University. Certainly National Player of the Year, national champion at Duke, lottery pick in the NBA, went on to win 2 NBA World Championships with the Miami Heat. I think something that he's most proud of is an award that he won for being a best teammate. And so an amazing basketball player and accolades and all that kind of stuff. But when Shane and I first connected and now have become friends, what I have appreciated the most about him is not only his success that he's had on the court or off the court, but the type of person he is. And I have always appreciated and admired his thinking and the culture that he's not only he's been a part of on many great winning championship teams, but the culture that he contributes and what he brings to things. So, he's a father, he's a husband, he's a friend. He's got his own Take Charge Foundation, which I want to make sure we mention that today too, because amazing work that he's doing. Anyway, welcome back to the podcast, Shane. Thanks for being here again.
JB, always good to chop it up, man. Always good.
Absolutely, man. So great to see you. And especially, we're doing this kind of pod, recording it now because Coach K, Mike Krzyzweski, the legendary coach who at Duke, I don't know if I've even referenced this in the past, but Duke is so funny. It's either people love Duke or there's people that hate Duke. I think there are people that, the success of Duke, has been challenging for the years. And so it's so interesting. Somebody who's been like an icon in the sport, like Coach Krzyzweski, and the way he's going to be celebrated. I mean, 5 national championships, 6 gold medals with Team USA. I mean, he's going to be celebrated for all these things, but there's still going to be people that for whatever reason don't like the guy or don't like his style and all that. So this is going to be fun to just celebrate more of the person and more give somebody a peek behind the curtain maybe of this. So whether you're a fan of Duke basketball or Coach K or however you come this today, I hope what everybody can appreciate is the success and the sustainability that he's had in leading a culture. So excited to chat with you about it today.
Well, I was super lucky to play for the greatest coach in sports, Coach K. And I would not be here without the lessons he taught me that I've taken with me through my 4 years at Duke. And even though it's been 21 years now since I left campus, it feels like it's yesterday. So I'm very excited to be in the house to celebrate his last game against North Carolina. It'll be sad in a lot of ways, end of an era, but I know that he's come to this decision. He made it to step away and let John Shire take the reins at Duke, and hopefully Coach K can relax. He's been going for a long time, 40 years of really sustained excellence, and it's really a testament to him as an individual and as a competitor, and as someone who always wanted to be better. And he just is really an amazing man.
Yeah, absolutely. And so say more. So when we're recording this right now, by the way, this is the week, but coming up you're heading to Durham on Friday, I believe it is. And on Saturday is Coach K's final game that he's going to coach in Cameron Indoor Stadium in Durham. And to say more about kind of who's going to be there and what that's how great that is to have some of the players that are going to come back and celebrate him. And I'm sure just be a part of this kind of monumental day, really, in not only sports, but in college basketball history, and certainly for a place like Duke.
Well, I know a bunch of my teammates will be back from the 2001 championship team. It's going to serve as sort of a mini reunion for all the little pods and teams that have played with each other. And so I don't know the exact count of how many players will be in the house, but I know Grant Hill and Christian Laettner and Danny Ferry and Jason Williams, all the big names will be there. All I know is we were promised one ticket. Okay, I know I read an article. This is the most expensive sporting event of all time. All right, yeah. Average ticket costs on the secondary market, shattering records. And so as a result, even though my jersey's hanging in the rafters of Cameron, I'm given one ticket. So that tells you how in demand that this event's going to be.
All right. Well, I won't even ask to try to sneak in, buddy. Then you got one ticket, man. When your jersey's in the rafters, you get at least one. So that's great that you at least got one.
I'm happy for that one.
Yeah. So, Coach K, again, he's been a coach. He's been a mentor to you. In all of our previous conversations, I know he's also been a caring kind of leader in your life, but also to many, many people along the way. And certainly, I'm wondering, when you think about kind of the top 2 or 3 or whatever comes to your mind outside of just basketball, the kind of life lessons or things he taught you, or things that you have made an impact on. He's going to get celebrated for a lot of basketball stuff in the next few weeks. But what are some things that stay with you as a human and have impacted the way you think about your life and about kind of the culture of working with others?
Well, there's so many to list. I don't know if we have enough megabytes to record them all here, but some of the things that I take away with me that were essential lessons of me becoming a great basketball player, but more importantly, becoming an adult that's contributing to society, started with the importance of personal standards. Coach K has got a very difficult name to spell and to say, but if you ever saw his autograph, it's impeccable. It's very legible, and he writes out the KRZYEWSKI every single time, and it's like a beautiful signature. And we were talking about it one day, and he said to the team, he said, "Look, why wouldn't I write my name perfectly legible every single time? I'm proud of my name. It means something." And he went on to talk about how it's a metaphor for if you're involved with something and it has your name on it, literally in this case, a signature, you should try to make it the best it can be because you're involved, and so many times we get wrapped up in external expectations and worry about what others think. And his lesson to us was do your best because you're involved. And that's good enough. That's a good enough reason to absolutely give all your focus, your energy for something as small as writing your name. And it's a beautiful metaphor. And imagine if you gave everything you could in everything you do, whether you're walking your dog or signing your autograph or delivering a keynote speech. Every single time, it's a habit that has served me very, very well. That, since I'm involved, I may as well make it the best darn thing I can.
Many teams and organizations right now are realizing that they need to do both. They need to engage the minds and hearts of their people in person, where everyone in the room can experience the energy of congregating together and find clarity for the road ahead. And they also need to continue to find ways to engage the minds and hearts of their people virtually, with those who are working remotely or at a distance. So, if you are in the process of planning your next team meeting, company all-hands event, conference, or culture summit, and are looking for support with a powerful keynote speech, facilitated team conversations that are the currency for change, or deeper development on leadership mindset and an intentional strategy for the culture you're trying to create, I hope you'll contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. It is my privilege and our honor to partner with great people to provide support in these areas. We want to breathe oxygen into your leaders and throughout your organization so you can set the temperature you want for your culture. We look forward to connecting with you soon. That's an amazing, thanks for sharing that. That speaks to the detail too, the detail-oriented nature that he is, and that kind of focus. And some people might hear that with intensity, which I guess it is in some way, but it is back to that just kind of high standard of a commitment to, if I'm going to put my name on something, literally in this plate, like literally writing my name, but if I'm going to put my stamp on something, then I want to make sure that it's legible. I want to make sure that it's really me, that it's authentic.
It takes an amazing amount of discipline to make that your habit. And we talk about habits all the time. Yeah. And there's certain days, I'm sure Coach K wanted to scribble his name, but no, this is important. I'm involved. And so it really just develops amazing discipline, amazing focus. He always talks about, every single player that came through Duke will talk about the importance of the next play, and then that's the metaphor he used time and time again, every year. And it's really appropriate for basketball, but even more than that, appropriate for life. In basketball, you have so many different ways you can impact the game, right? You can take a shot, you can make a shot, rebound, make a pass, make a screen, run back on defense, get a loose ball, commit a foul, make a free-throw, like literally hundreds of things on one single possession to impact the bottom line of a basketball game, which is the score. And there was a bunch of negative and positive things that could happen, right? It's not so much if you have success or failure, but how you react to those successes and failures. We know that player that makes a great play and, crosses over his opponent, makes a sweet three, and walks down the court like this and firing bow and arrows in the crowd instead of getting back on defense. And can you do it again? Can you make that awesome play again? On the other side of the token, you have a horrible play. You trip over your feet. Everyone's laughing at you. You're on SportsCenter, not top 10 plays. Do you sulk and hang your head and say, I'm no good? No, you get your tail back on defense and you don't make that mistake again. And it's the people and the players, but the people in life that can move on to the next play. And whatever that play may be, whatever that opportunity is there in front of you, and you attack that next thing with a discipline, with an energy, with an enthusiasm, with a focus, with a togetherness, regardless of if you experience success or defeat just previously, those are the people that have success over the long term. And so it's a habit you have to develop. And how quickly can you move on to the next thing? How quickly? And, maybe we didn't enjoy all of our successes like we should have because we were on to the next thing. But let me tell you, we didn't linger on the losses because we were on to the next thing. And when I graduated in 2001, our record was 133-15, which is a record. I think it still stands for a 4-year period, and it's a metaphor for life. And so, the ability to handle defeat and success is one and the same. And Coach K talked about that through the power of the next play. How quickly can you get on to the next play?
Yeah, and that at least again, from our previous conversations that we've had, the way I've learned it, that image has stayed with me as well, that it's the best players are the ones that are able to practice and develop that processing speed. And so, to say it is one thing, but then to get the reps, if you will, of the times of making that three and training your mind that it's not about shooting the arrow, but it's about getting back on defense, or the time when you are dealing with a failure, with a miss, with a loss, and practicing then, all right, next speed, that as we practice and develop that habit of next speed, that we also, our processor gets quicker. Did you see that? And is that a part of kind of the way he talks about it?
It's a mindset. It's just a mindset. And look, there are disappointments in life and in business, and that's just part of growth. And you have to be able to accept that. But if it lingers, then it's detrimental. All right. If you have some adversity, never waste a good crisis, right? What can you learn from it, right? And apply it to the next thing, the next challenge. Yeah. And it has nothing to do. It's really agnostic with talent level. All right, we're talking about the best players. We're talking about the players that are 12th man on the bench. All right, this is something that everyone can do. All right, it's accessible. How quickly can you refocus your energy and your discipline, your focus to the next thing? And can you do that time and time again? And it's funny, when that happens, you become a person with great next play speed, or just a habit of next play, you become amazingly consistent. And there's not a project in your business world or in your community or a nonprofit that you may be involved with, or any team aspect that wouldn't want you on their team because of your consistency, because they know what they're getting.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that's consistency. You show up every day with energy, with passion, with the focus, with the discipline, with the energy, time and day after day after day. That's how you create value for yourself. Everyone is always worried, like, how do I create value for myself? Just play the next play. And if you can just hammer that habit, I promise you will make yourself so valuable to your organization or any group that you want to be part of.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone that fell asleep at the wheel during any of this conversation and thinks this is only about basketball, you heard Shane bring it back to that like this is, I can tell you, I could sit here and list off the companies, the leaders, the people that processing speed and the consistency with which their teams can expect from them and have come to know in them has helped them, made them be the effective person or team that they are a part of. So that consistency, in sports, they say, defense travels. That consistency travels, right? Like from team to team, company to company, organization, project to project, and certainly the next speed stuff. I mean, I can think about countless conversations I've had with my children, where it's okay, we made a mistake, that didn't go the way you hoped it would. We're on to the next speed, the next play,
next play.
Yeah, that next play speed is powerful.
So there's so many lessons that Coach K taught us. And, as I'm now a father, I'm a father of two, 43 years old, and a board director and running a philanthropic nonprofit and doing a lot of corporate presentations myself. And I keep harking back to just so many lessons, like standards, like next play. They're just so applicable to way beyond basketball. You don't know that at the time. You're an 18, 19-year-old kid. You're just like, I just want to play games and win. Yeah. But now I have such great appreciation for lessons that I learned. I wouldn't be here as a father, husband, businessman here today without those lessons.
I'm sure you've told Coach K some of this, certainly, but and if not, I know you're going to have the opportunity to, and certainly it's something worthy of reflecting on. But what's your message to him, or what to at the end of a career like this, which will be fascinating to see what his next play is going to be, right? And how if he's able to adjust the speed in some ways is going to be quite fascinating. But if you, what's your message to him about impact and about, how would you articulate that to him?
Yeah. It's funny because for those who know him, we don't really talk to him a whole lot during the basketball season. And that's what makes him great. I mean, he's so focused on his team and thinking about what his team needs, and he's oblivious to the rest of the world. So as former players, we don't even bother with him. If we go to a game, if we wave hi, coach, give him a hug, love you, talk to you later. So it'll be great to reminisce about the good old days. And we see him in the off season, and he's a lot more chill and receptive. But the message is always the same. Just thank you, thank you for caring, thank you for your integrity, thank you for your truth, and thank you for your level, your level. And for me personally, I'm a very competitive person, very intense person, always have been since I was 8 years old. And, where Coach K understood that and really got the most out of me started when he recruited me in high school. And at a time when other coaches were offering me playing time or minutes or shots, Coach K said, I'm not going to offer you any of those things, but I will promise you one thing. I will promise you the opportunity to earn playing time every single day in practice. And if you're good enough, you'll earn it. And I'm looking around like, I'm good enough. I don't know about Alton Brand. I don't know about Rashawn McLeod. I don't know about Tima Domzalski. I don't know about those other cats, but it's not going to be me who's going to be on the outside. And so he understood that amazing button of competitiveness and of just loving the fight. And he pushed that button in me every single time. And so when I got to Duke, often it wasn't about playing Wake Forest or beating North Carolina. The way Coach K challenged me when I got to Duke was we'd watch film and he would say, well, Grant Hill never would have made that play, or Christian Laettner would have made that play. And so he was challenging my ability to be the next great leader at Duke. And again, those were like fighting words. And I thank him because I wanted him to talk about me like he never talked about anyone before. And so he knew how to get the most out of me. And so I wanted him to meet my level, which is crazy. He's Coach K, right? But I gave him everything. And I wanted him to say, God, I got to give more to Battier, right? Yeah. And that was my only job. I wanted him to sweat. If he played me 38 minutes, I wanted him to sweat. He didn't play me 40 minutes, right? That he needed me. Yeah. Yeah. And as a result, I think both of our levels went and we both took each other to another plane. And that's obvious with the games that we wanted, the successes that we had. So, and to that point, I had never met anybody who challenged me in that way, because I'd always been super successful and All-American. And, but to meet someone who I could compete with, in a safe way, in a loving way, in a trusting way, it just unlocked everything for me.
Well, and you have been that. Not only did you have that experience at Duke, but from a friend, but also somebody who's just observed you and admired you over the years for your efforts in your career that way, is that you brought that then to every team that you were on. And you were one of those people that I think raised the level of the people around you and helped to bring that kind of competitiveness, but the kind of raising the standards and being the guy that's willing to play different roles to raise the standard of the culture of winning and how could we be the best team that we possibly be. So, those lessons that where the two of you brought out the best in each other during those days, my guess is that certainly, I think you would have had that kind of impact probably anywhere that you went, but the fact that did bring out the best in you and then probably showed you the ability that you have to go into any team or any situation and raise the level.
Well, it was a perfect match for he and I to work together because I've always been about team, and obviously Coach K being West Point grad is always about the strength of the unit. And I remember he used to say, look,
like no one's going to ask you about your stats. They're going to say, where are your rings, right? And if you're part of a winning team and have success, people don't care what your stats are. They don't care what your resume is. They just know that you're part of something special. You're part of a group that you can function inside a group that wins and has success. And like that will create tremendous value for you. You don't want to be a player that puts up numbers on a bad team or a bad company because no one cares. Everyone says, well, you're the only player they have. Someone has to have success. It may as well be you. Right. And, Coach K always used to talk about the fist. He actually had a statue of a fist on his desk, and he brought it out every now and then when he felt we weren't playing as a team. And what he used to say is like, look, when you're in a fist fight, all right, or a metaphorical, we're not advocating violence, a metaphorical fist fight.
Yeah.
And you have 4 players in the same team, but one player is rogue and doing what the other guys aren't doing. You start throwing this around in a fight, what happens? You break your pinky and your punches aren't as effective. But when you have 5 players together as one, you start throwing this around, you create some serious damage.
Yeah.
So like you said, don't be the pinky. Don't be the pinky, be with us. And, the team atmosphere that he created, it was super competitive. We had 9 McDonald's All-Americans on my rosters at any given time, which is the best of the best of the best. Not everyone can play, and there are a lot of unhappy people, but he always said, look, you will decide how much you play. I won't, and you do that by your preparation, by your attitude, by your energy, by your togetherness, your willingness to be a great teammate, like all those things. If you make a parent, playing time follows. Okay. And it's not about making shots or playing great defense individually. It's what do you do to make our team function at the highest level? And so when your mindset is what can I do to make the team better? It's amazing the things that you'll do and sort of let go. And it's even more amazing what comes back to you in return.
No doubt. One of your, that's phenomenal stuff, by the way. And one of the, if we play off the next play speed thing too, I want you to share quickly about, the Take Charge Foundation, because one of your next plays, and the processing into you get out of basketball, and you've had many other successful things post basketball, of course, because, my belief is whatever you choose to do, you're gonna the standard is high, and you're going to put yourself into it, and you're going to be valuable to any team. So, but one of the ways in which you have chosen is to make an impact with the Take Charge Foundation. Will you say, just give us a quick little synopsis of that and the work that you're doing, and you're leading and collaborating with a lot of great people?
Yeah, look, when I was at Duke, I was part of an amazing team, and I recognized how much we could accomplish together. And so I made a pledge to myself. If I ever made it to the big show, and I was lucky to play 13 years in the NBA, it's my duty and my responsibility to help kids who were like me, who had all the ambition, just didn't have the opportunity, give them a platform, give them opportunity, and see where they go. And so super proud of the Battier Take Charge Foundation. We've been around now for 11 years. In 11 years, given away over $2.5 million in college scholarships and college programming for some amazing kids who come from areas that don't have the opportunity that others don't. And it's amazing when you give someone just a chance, right? Yep. To go after it, and you let them go, and you give them the support and the love that I got from Coach K. It's amazing, and some of the things we're most proud of in our lives. And so check out our website at battiertakecharge.org. Get involved, but more generally, got to give back. Find a cause that speaks to your heart, and we're all super lucky to live in America and be safe and live in the country of the free. And it's our job to come together to help those who need a boost, and whether that's your neighbor or someone across the country or across the world, get involved and make this world a better place, because we are one team.
No, it's awesome. It's the work that you're doing, and that the team of folks that you're collaborating with to do great stuff is really amazing. It's inspiring. And I'll say that what I love seeing is when there's congruency between a person, in not just what they talk about, but what they do. It's a phenomenal thing. And so it's so great to see that kind of congruency of who you are as a person, but also the impact that you're making on other people. And so it's been fun to cheer that on. I contribute. I'm a supporter of that, the great work that's happening. So check out the Battier Take Charge Foundation, takechargefoundation.org. Is that right?
It's ShaneTakeCharge.org.
ShaneTakeCharge.org. Okay, yeah, we'll put all that in the show notes too, so people that can find that. So anyway, buddy, I know you got all kinds of stuff going on, and especially this week and all this celebration that's coming up with Coach K. So thanks for taking some time just to jump on and to chat with little old me. So thanks for that. I always I get energy, man. I get you breathe oxygen into me that way, and I'm excited to anytime we get a chance to chat and just catch up.
Well, I appreciate that, my brother. Keep fighting the good fight, man.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I'm more convinced of this than ever, especially everything that's happened in the last 2 years in the world, that the future of leadership is you, it's me, it's us, it's all of us, and we all have to be ambassadors for the cultures that we want to create, which means we've got to figure out, well, what is that temperature that we want to try to set together in alignment with the other people around us and on our teams. And then once we know that, we got to show up and we got to breathe oxygen into ourselves, and we've also got to breathe oxygen into the people around us so that we can make the kind of impact and set the temperature that we want for the long haul. So calibrating the thermostat and finding that next play speed and aligning as a team so individuals come together and have a connectedness like Shane was talking about. All of those elements are a part of a process to continue to set the temperature, to find realignment with ourselves and with other people, and then to be disciplined and have those high standards that if we're going to put our name on this, let's make sure that it's what we want it to be. So thank you for everybody who's listening. I hope you'll stay tuned at Jason V. Barger on social media and at jasonvbarger.com, and in the future more content to come, but we are the thermostat, so let's set the temperature. And again, Shane, thanks for being here today. Thank you for listening to today's podcast, and I hope the messages and questions stimulate positive change along your path. As always, if these messages resonate with you and add value to your life, I hope you'll help amplify them throughout the world. Please rate, comment, and share on whatever podcast or social media platform you're using, and share this podcast with the people in your life or work who should be part of these conversations. That way, this spirit does, in fact, spread. If these messages or developing leaders and culture would be helpful to you and your organization, please contact us at jasonvbarger.com, jasonvbarger.com. And remember, we are all ambassadors for the culture we want to create in our life and work. We have to own the vision we want to be a part of. The future of leadership is you, is me, is us. Be a thermostat.